Tell me again, I'm going to be all right, huh? We've all been in that place. There's a tension, in this life between the comfort of staying the same and the call to something higher, yeah? And how we respond to those conflicting aspects of ourselves really determines how we evolve. If we give in to the fear of change, which we understand what that feels like, it can weigh us down. Looking into the future of uncertainty is looking into a dark tunnel, yeah? And unless you can see the light at the end of that tunnel, unless you can see the manifestation or the outpicturing of what you're being called to change into, then oftentimes we are hesitant, we pull back. We choose the familiar to the possible, yeah? We choose the comfort of staying close to the ground rather than venturing the risk of taking heights, taking flight. But as the metamorphosis reveals in the caterpillar story, there is great possibility way beyond the life of crawling around on the ground, as some would say, the worms in the dust. Yeah? And that those of us who are beginning to feel at any age that there is more for us to express in this life are very much like the caterpillar that is being called to once more trust in the process. Trust in this evolutionary impulse. Trust in the God impulse, the divine principle, that which is more of who you are seeking to express through this life, through this form, through who you are. And to understand that right where you are right now is the perfect chrysalis for these wings to unfold. We tend to think, we look at other people who are growing and expanding and experiencing greater expressions of who they are and doing things, and we admire them, or we see, oh, if I was that person, if I had their life, if I had their situation, if I had their resources, and sure, yeah, I would be all on board for this change. We have to understand that nobody here is left without the spirit, and the spirit of growth, and the spirit of greater love and greater expression and greater creativity. Everyone, regardless of their life situation, has a spiritual journey that is yet to unfold. If it was not so, then you would not be here. We are all here to become a grander version of ourselves. Yeah? And to understand that is that it oftentimes starts by feeling like some kind of nagging discontent. And that nagging discontent, if it's more than just fleeting, if it's more than just momentary where you're just needing something to be different in your life, but it's something that comes back, even when you try to assuage it, even when you try to, change the landscape, even when you repaint the house, you change partners, you do everything you can to try to make yourself happier, and this discontent just keeps coming up. It keeps returning. It keeps showing itself as something that is pushing you. And what that is its spirit pushing you to be more of itself. Spirit pushing you to be more of itself. This is claiming your divine birthright. This is claiming who you were created to be. You were not created to be stagnant. You were not created to get a comfortable life and then sit back and just sit around. You were here to find out what is the next growing edge of you, with your talents and your abilities, those known and those yet to be revealed, those yet to be expressed. There are people sitting in this room who have not tapped into some creative ability that they have denied somewhere along the line. There are people in this room that are being called to do something that has never seemed possible because they've tried to do it on their own. Sometimes it's hard to forgive. Sometimes it's hard to see your way clear when you have a difficult medical condition or financial condition. And what's so beautiful about a spiritual community is that this community also has people that have become butterflies, dealing with the same thing that you're wrestling with as a caterpillar. And they stand as living testimony to the possibility of going through that change, going through the pain of change, the fear of change, the struggle, the periods of darkness when you can't see. You know, that time in the chrysalis is a dark time. And it feels, in many people, that's when they call off the whole thing sometimes. Like, this can't be right. It's too dark. I can't see. I can't see my way clear. I don't see any wings unfolding. You know, I'm still writhing in this darkness. And yet what we know, well, you only know this if you're older than the modern day digital technology, but in the dark room is where the picture gets developed, and it takes its time for a negative to become a positive. Yeah? And in the earth, in that winter, when those bulbs that sit there, seemingly nothing is happening. And yet we know in the spring, in its time, it will spring forth and it will create new life. And the bulb does not sit in the darkness, in sadness, in depression, saying, oh, my life, what a bummer. I'm sitting in the darkness. Because it knows, it trusts in this process that takes its time, and that darkness serves in its own way in the final unfolding. There is a process to this, but if you do not trust the process, then you can abort too early and miss the opportunity to emerge as what God would have you be, what God would have you express. I've been through this on my own on a number of occasions. So I don't speak to you from a lofty place of, you know, this is a cool idea, but I haven't really tried it out. I have been through many metamorphoses. And I have faced all those aspects of wondering whether this really was a legitimate call and whether it was all worth it. And what I know is that it wasn't even just staying the course that got me to the next version of myself, the next expression of what I have come here to do, but it also, I built up a certain level of qualities of patience and perseverance and persistence and trust and faith and surrender in the process, which is also why I'm here, yeah? And why you are here as well. So when we think in terms of change, when we think in terms of what am I being called to be, whether it's in this new year or in this next moment, because this next moment could be an opportunity where you're invited to go to higher ground, yeah? Or to stay down in the ground. But what is important for us to recognize is that whatever is showing up in our life right now is inviting us to seek a higher way of expressing. There are no exceptions. Every moment is an opportunity to surrender to what Spirit is calling you to be and to become. Not in spite of these circumstances, but because these circumstances themselves will be the chrysalis in which you can develop this quality. Yeah? So often we have it outside in. We have it backwards. We keep telling the universe, God, however we version our higher power, what life needs to be like for us to grow and have the life that we want. And the Spirit is talking back to us and saying, no, it's just the opposite. You have the circumstances you have. Now dig within yourself to find what I have given you to see how you can grow through these circumstances. And that's why you are where you are, so that you can transcend these circumstances and know that you are more than what's happening to you. Everything that happens to us in life can either be seen as being against us, hello, or for us, depending on how we see what our purpose in life is. Yeah? If we see our purpose in life to grow and unfold wings, to be more the spiritual being that we have come here to be, then we can see every situation as being for us. Because nothing can defeat the Spirit. Nothing. No human conditions, no person, no situation can prevent you from it being used in a way that help you grow spiritually. It's not possible to confine the Spirit. And that's how the circumstances of life become the perfect chrysalis for you to grow into the butterfly that God created you to be. So, those of you that stuck around from the first service are getting a different talk, but it's all the same. It's all truth. I love this quote from, well, it wasn't a quote, it was the words from Apostle Paul when he said, "Brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended." In other words, I don't understand. "But one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead, I press toward the prize of the upward call of God." That statement right there describes this process. Forgetting those things which are behind me, yeah? And we all know how we can get trapped in the past. Things didn't work out. There's disappointment. There's regret. There might be guilt and shame and blame and all those lovely things that do nothing for us to launch into a new possibility, yeah? So we burned it up on Thursday night if you were here. If not, we're going to put that service online so you can do a burning bowl on your own time. But it's very important for us to clear the past, because if we don't clear the past, then we will be trying to do something which is impossible to do, is to hold out hope for a better past. Someone once said that forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better past. So forgetting those things which are behind me and reaching forward. Your life is only going to unfold from here on, yeah? So obvious, right? But how much of our time are we stuck in memory? Are we reviewing that conversation? You know, that gal how she looked at us kind of funny, and then for 5 hours later, you're still thinking about how she looked at you, or what someone said or didn't say, you know? And you're stuck, and you're spending all this time. We have 12 to 15,000 thoughts in a day, and 95% of them are the same thoughts. They're usually rehashing and reviewing what has happened, or there's some fear about what's going to happen. So reaching forward it's this notion that there is something drawing us forward that is not the distractions of life, but there's this higher calling. It's the caterpillar who sees the butterfly and say, what version of that is calling me? How am I called to evolve beyond this expression where I'm currently expressing, and to express that which is within my possibilities, within my potential, and that I need to trust the indwelling Spirit and the creativity that it's given me and the strength that it's given me to develop into what I have come here to do and express in this moment toward the upward call of God. The upward call of God. God is always calling us upward. God does not call us to come and commiserate. God is not grieving about your life. God does not have one moment of regret about your life. The Spirit is only calling you to see what you are, to see the life that is without end, for you to see the love that is unconditional, to realize that there's peace that's possible in the midst of every situation. That's the upward call of God. And try to name one situation where that isn't possible. Doesn't matter what's happened. It doesn't matter what's happening. It only matters how you respond, what voice you listen to, what you call forth. And that's what this process is going to be about. This white stone ceremony is about us listening. It's about us listening to the upward call of Spirit. And in the quiet and in the silence of our own hearts, seeing what God is wanting us to see and know about ourselves so that we can evolve, that we can grow. You know, it is this tension that we have that I started by describing between wanting to stay safe and trying to answer and trying to find whatever the form is that will assuage this feeling of discontent and dissatisfaction. How we respond to that determines whether our lives are fulfilling, our lives are filled with awe and wonder and creativity and abundance, or not. How we respond to that tension determines how we evolve. And we are being called to be, I think this was the Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh's comment, a grander version of ourselves. Now that's not a grander version of our ego. Whoa, careful. We don't need grander versions of our ego, right? No, we don't. We need grander versions of our true self. And the grander versions of our true self will always provide for everybody. There will always be more of a blessing if you trust your gift and you give it unconditionally to the world. That's why we're here. Trust your gift, give it unconditionally to the world. That's why we are here. And when we're doing that, we recognize finally that discontent goes away. That nagging feeling of I'm not authentic, I'm not living the life that I'm supposed to be living, that goes away. Doesn't mean everything turns up roses and all the doors swing wide open and you get the big contract and you get the big salary and you get the big church and you get to whatever. What it means though is that you have this inherent sense that this is right. That you are right with yourself. You are right with Spirit. You have said yes to the calling. And the calling has got your name on it. And you're saying, here I am, God. Here am I. All these great stories from the Bible where Noah and Moses and Abraham, all these people, they were called, right? And their answer was, here am I. Yeah, there was a little of gnashing of teeth and murmuring, like, are you sure you want me to lead the Israelites out of Egypt? Because, I don't speak that well, and I will provide. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be willing. You just have to say, here I am. That's all. And when you show up with willingness to answer the call, and your hero's journey begins, just like the hero's journey stories that we love, everything that you need to make this journey comes to assist you. The allies, yeah? The people that you need, the resources that you need, the weapons that you need to battle the dragons, yeah? The insights, which way to turn when you come to a why, it's given to you. Because you're answering something so true to you that you will not be given a false instruction. But if you don't know what you're going for, if you're going for someone else's dream or someone else's version of what you should be doing, then you will get lost. You will find yourself in the labyrinth and never finding yourself in the center. So we're going to do this together. Are you ready? Okay. I may keep you over just a little bit today. But you'll go away with a vision, a new name. So I just invite you to put everything down for the moment. We're just going to clear the deck here, clear our minds. And just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath and let it out. You don't need your stone in your hand right now. We'll have plenty of time for that later on. So we're just going to go into a place of quiet. And in the book of Revelation, it says this. It says, "Let anyone who has an ear listen to what the Spirit is saying. To everyone who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone. And on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it." So those who are overcoming means those of us who move forward with faith and overcoming the challenges they have in life, the ones who move forward, who grow and seek and are receptive to the highest and the best. To those a new name is given, a new sense of self and for their life. So we're here to move into that place of trust and surrender that we have within us, the secret place of the Most High, as it's been called. To possess the secret gives one power over it. We're here to have this conscious knowledge of Spirit in us, the secret that is the key to all power, all change, all lasting change, all meaningful change. And what we want is the revelation to us of this marvelous secret. What will give it to us? The Spirit of truth, which proceedeth from the Spirit within. That which Spirit would say to you and do through you is a great secret that no one on the face of the earth knows or ever will know except yourself, as it is revealed to you by the Spirit that is in you. The secret that Spirit tells me is not revealed to you, nor yours to me. But each must, after all is said and done, commune directly with Spirit. Secrets are not told upon the housetop, nor is it possible to pass this, the greatest of secrets, from one to another. But God, the creator of our being, must whisper it to each soul in the innermost of itself. So I invite you to pick up that white stone that you received. And if you don't have one, please raise your hand. There's a couple over here. Just hold your hand up until they bring it to you. And pick up that stone now and hold it in your hand as we enter into this ritual together. You'll also need a pencil with which to write on your stone. What will come to you is some kind of a spiritual name or identity or calling. A spiritual name that has been decreed just for you. This is a naming of yourself or a renaming of your life or a calling. What's being called forth? It's a kind of a christening with a new name, a new sense of identity. True christening means Christ finding. That is, beholding yourself or another as a son or daughter of God. Beholding the Spirit in yourself. There was a custom in the ancient days when a prisoner was released from prison, from bondage, from jail, from a limitation. The former prisoner was given a white stone to carry to show that they were now free. They were a free man or woman. Only people who were freed would be given the white stone. And so that's what the writer of the book of Revelation refers to. Applying to those who are coming into the consciousness of the Spirit. So let us know we are free by knowing God, or God with us, Spirit within that sets us free. And millions have gone before you and set free to be their own greater selves, to live a more abundant life here and now. So for today, just imagine that you are going forth out of whatever prison or shackles or handcuffs or feelings of limitation or guilt or resentment that you have had. And see the door is opening. And you are walking through into freedom. And you are now given a white stone which says, you are now free. You have a new identity. You are a free person. So during this meditation, you'll be finding a revelation of what really is the truth, of what really is trying to get expressed or get lived out in a greater way in you as you. And you'll write this name on your stone with a pencil. And the meaning of that stone and your spiritual name will become clear as you prepare yourself to enter this sacred space. So let us go deeper into this meditation now with the affirmation. I am at peace. I am free. I am open. And I am receptive. I am at peace. I am open. I am receptive. I am at peace. I am open. And I am receptive. And just feel this calmness and this peace in this special place. And now I just invite you to begin to meditate on your new name. A secret that only you can know from the Spirit within you. And affirming in your own mind, I am freeing myself to live more fully. I am freeing myself to live more fully. I'm releasing myself from the limitations of the past. I'm releasing myself from bondage and gaining a new, greater image of myself. Letting God and letting go. And I feel a new sense of energy. I allow myself to be open to new life, to go through a rite of passage, to a greater awareness of life and the experience of living. Life is renewing in me as I make room for new life by letting go of the old. The stone in your hand represents your freedom. Feel it. Feel the smooth stone in your hand and know that it represents release. Release from your old ways of thinking, the negating thoughts, the old images and beliefs about your health, your wealth, your creativity, your spiritual understanding, any belief that you hold from the past. I am a radiating center of divine life. I am filled with energy. I see myself walking out of bondage, a free expression of God. I see myself in a God way. And knowing this, I know my holiness, which means my wholeness. And knowing this, I can release and I can go forward to the upward call of God. I am creating a new beginning by knowing who I am. And so now, we meditate on the name. Meditate on your new name. What is the new name that comes to you? Just let it come. You don't have to try to think it up or try to make it up or make it happen. What is the new name or the nature or the identity that Spirit has decreed for you? What does my life call out to me? What sense of newness? What sense of greatness? Let it come to you now. Feel the stone in your hand and feel the Spirit beckon to you in the silence. So you may have received a new name. This may be your new vision of yourself, or what you are to accomplish, or what you are to embrace and demonstrate and live out. This is your new beginning. This is the new you. This is you as you grow wings, as you begin to become the grander version of yourself. It may be a title, it may be a new positive way of living or being. In the Bible, God's name came to Moses as I am. So you could start with I am. I am understanding, or I am filled with love. Or you may have some aspiration or vision. I am a good parent. What is your vision? What is your longing? Your heartfelt desire? And if it does not come to you now, you can take this stone with you and continue this in the day ahead or the days ahead. And know that when it comes to you, it comes with the power and the guidance to achieve all that you have been given. We give thanks to God. And now, as you are ready, gently open your eyes and write your name on your stone if you haven't already. And if you need more time, again, take the stone home and continue in your own personal meditation time. Time to think about your new name. This is something for you to repeat and imagine the new power and the direction that your new name is giving to your life. Keep the stone in a prominent place so daily you are reminded of your freedom and your new life direction. You could share this new name with a trusted friend or a family member and have them also see you free with a newfound freedom, free to be who you have come here to be. So very gently we return to this time and this place, ready to step into a new year, ready to attract our highest good, ready to set our intentions and to trust in the Spirit that brought us to this point will see us through. That desire means of the Father, means of God. And the Spirit is not capricious. It will not on one hand give you a vision and not give you the mechanics for its fulfillment. This is my prayer for all of you, for all of us, that we find what Spirit is calling us to be and express, and to follow that hero's journey, that we may all sprout wings of new possibility in the coming year, And we'll all be lifted up by the fulfillment of that vision. Amen? Amen. Thank you. Happy New Year.